If Woody was a brand, I think he'd stand for integrity, depth, and solidity. He's a strong guy. He's been around for a few years, a lot of years, and there's nobody out there that has more integrity than him, very sincerely. His promise is substance and commitment, and with that is truth, and he's a very matter-of-fact, black and white guy. I think if you ask Woody, and I think if many of us talk about his legacy, it's really his family. His wife Sandy, his children, his grandchildren, his boys. Nothing is more important to Woody than his family. It's a beautiful thing that he has with his wife. I'm proud that his wife is Greek Orthodox, of Greek descent. I'm proud that he converted. I would have liked to have been there when he was christened and baptized, kind of like my big fat Greek wedding. If he had to get wet in the pool, that would have been very interesting. But the most important thing to Woody, as it's been since he married her, is Sandy and his family. Woody's left a lot behind. Here at Del Monte, he's left numerous stories, anecdotes, times that he was there through thick and thin. Funny times. Many of the individuals here, the employees, the VPs, and all the way down to the line workers and so forth, remember him. He had a big impact. The best part about it is he was filled with zest and zeal. I've known Woody for 25 years at least. We both were at Dole at the same time, and progressed through a long relationship with him, and absolutely his zest and zeal for the business, his commitment for the business is unparalleled. One of the funny things that happened, I think, is in the process of working here at Del Monte, he was working in Miami, and he was busy all day long, so it really didn't bother him very much. But I don't think Sandy was very comfortable with Miami. That's a tough place if you're not from here. Point being is he moved back to KC and because of family and so forth, and upper management didn't know about it until after he moved, and a visit there to KC, that office, they realized the pictures in the office, and the upper management question was to him, "Woody, have you moved here?" Which he, of course, answered yes, but nobody knew about it, obviously, until it was found out at the very end. Numerous times he would be so enthusiastic, filled with zest and zeal at looking at acquisitions. He was in charge of acquisitions here at Del Monte, and he would be looking at equipment and machines and so forth, whether it be Albert Fisher or Handypack or some of the companies that Del Monte acquired, and he would get lost in the position of looking at all this equipment, looking at the lines, looking at the business operations and so forth, and getting enthralled with it. Sometimes would miss appointments and sometimes would miss meetings and so forth, but it all worked out in the end because he was very thorough and he knew the business inside out. The biggest influence on my life actually was, again, going back to family. Because of his commitment, his love for family, it really had an influence on me early on. Because of the fact that I mentioned earlier that he converted and he became Greek Orthodox, I had a natural inclination to know more about him because of my faith and so forth. He had a big impact on work hard, play hard, but pay attention to the family and be with your family. They're most important. At the end of the day, and it's Woody's end of the day, his family will be there for him. He's always been there for them. He actually mentored me when I was younger at Dole, but with me at Del Monte, he actually really sat down and talked to me about the opportunities here, and not just opportunities as they stood, but the opportunities for me individually. And the sincerity was there. Woody's not a jokester per se. He can play him. He has in the past, but he's a very sincere guy and a man that people respect and look up to and certainly revere. In the business world, in the produce business world, he's very black and white, very matter of fact. It doesn't matter if the president of a corporation, a major corporation, is sitting in the room or a lowly salesman. He's very matter of fact, black and white, and he says exactly what's on his mind. And usually what's on his mind is correct and right on target. I'm certainly not as old as Woody, though. He's much older than I am. Now, having said that, he still has the youthful expressions, youthful zest and zeal, and he's still young. I mean, he's still young at heart. He takes really good care of himself. He's very, very health conscious. He watches what he eats and he exercises, and he's a true individual that one can look up to. That was at Dole, and I didn't know anything about him. And he was talking to a guy named Bill Heinz, and I asked about him, and he seemed like an interesting guy. He was much younger looking back then, and he was actually very matter of fact with Bill Heinz as well. And Bill Heinz was his senior at the time. And my first impression was, that's an interesting guy. Subsequent to him talking to Bill Heinz is when I met him and found out a lot more about him. Probably at a bar would be a good place to meet him. Numerous times when he went on excursions, he would actually go in for a pop or for a beer. And Woody was full of stories and a real good guy to hang out with. If it was an island, certainly we might only have 1 or 2 drinks and go out snorkeling or diving or surfing or just have fun. He enjoyed life. He's grabbed it. He's enjoyed it, whether it be at work or with his family. And his private life was full of many wonderful and happy things.